The monkey who thought he was Godzilla. There was once a tiny monkey who believed, deep inside his brave little heart, that he was not just any monkey. He thought he was something bigger, louder, stronger, something that could protect the whole forest. Every morning he climbed the tallest tree, puffed his chest, and let out a dramatic roar that sounded nothing like the powerful roar he imagined. To everyone else, it was just a squeaky sound like someone stepping on a toy. But to him, it felt like thunder. The other animals laughed sometimes, not because they were cruel, but because they didn't understand. The birds whispered, the deer smiled quietly, and even the old turtle shook his head. The monkey didn't mind. He had a reason. Long ago, he had seen a movie on a tiny outdoor screen the villagers brought to the forest edge. And on that screen stood a giant creature, Godzilla, strong enough to face storms, waves, danger, and fear. From that night on, the monkey said one simple promise to himself. If anyone in this forest is ever scared, I will stand like Godzilla, and I will not run. One afternoon, a soft rain began to fall. It smelled like wet leaves and quiet earth. The forest breathed slowly, calm, and peaceful. While the rain whispered through branches, the monkey noticed a small human boy sitting near the riverbank. The boy's clothes were muddy. His eyes were red from crying. He kept looking at the water like he was searching for something he had lost. The monkey stayed hidden at first, curious, watching gently. The boy spoke to no one, but his voice shook. He told the river that he was lost. He had wandered too far from the village while chasing a kite. His parents were somewhere out there, scared and calling his name. And now the sun would soon sink behind the trees and the forest would turn darker than he had ever seen it. His little hands trembled. He hugged his knees and tried not to cry again, but the tears still came. The monkey felt his heart tighten. Animals understand fear even when humans think they hide it. The monkey wanted to help, but he was only a monkey, and yet his promise echoed inside his chest. Godzilla protects, he whispered to himself. Godzilla does not walk away. He climbed down slowly, making gentle sounds so he would not frighten the boy. When the boy first saw the monkey, he almost laughed through his tears. The monkey looked so small, soaked from the rain, fur sticking up, face serious like he was on an important mission. The boy whispered, "Hi." The monkey tilted his head, then pointed up the trail as if saying, "Follow me." The boy hesitated, shadows thickened. Strange sounds echoed through the trees. Everything in him wanted to stay still, but there was something different about this tiny creature. There was calmness, there was courage. Step by step, the monkey led him into the forest, staying close enough to give comfort, far enough to avoid scaring him. Sometimes he paused to listen carefully. Sometimes he looked back as if checking, "Are you still okay?" When branches snapped in the distance, the monkey stood tall, stretched himself big, and made that silly, stubborn roar. It did not sound dangerous, but it sounded confident. It sounded protective, and somehow the boy felt less afraid. Deep inside, the monkey was scared too. The forest grows strange at night, but courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move gently even when your heart shakes. This was something he had learned by watching storms come and go. Nothing strong ever yells at fear. It simply stands and stays. The path grew slippery. The boy stumbled. The monkey rushed back, placed his tiny hands on the boy's shoe, and tugged gently like he was saying, "Get up, I'm still here." The boy smiled weakly and whispered, "Thank you." Though they could not speak the same language, kindness translated perfectly. Soon they heard the distant sound of voices, worried voices, desperate voices. The boy's parents were calling his name over and over through the dark. The monkey looked up at the boy, then toward the sound, then back at the boy again. And then, doing something no one expected, he climbed the tallest tree nearby. He climbed as high as his small body could go. Rain kissed his face, wind pushed at his fur, but he did not stop. At the top, shaking slightly, the monkey did the bravest thing he had ever done. He stood tall. He stretched his arms wide. and he let out his biggest, loudest, most ridiculous roar. To most animals, it sounded silly. But to the frightened parents searching the woods, it sounded like a clear signal. They turned toward the noise, pushing through bushes and broken branches, running faster than they had all evening. Within minutes, they saw the boy, tears of relief streaming down his face, waving with both arms. His mother fell to her knees and hugged him so tightly his breath caught. His father wiped his eyes quickly, like he didn't want anyone to see. They kept saying, "You're safe, you're safe, you're safe." When they finally noticed the monkey above them, standing there like a tiny guardian, they understood. The father bowed his head slightly in gratitude. The mother placed her hand over her heart. The boy smiled, whispering softly, "My hero." The monkey climbed down slowly, not making a big moment out of it. He didn't roar again. He didn't brag. He simply looked at them, nodded like a tiny king, and turned to leave. Because Godzilla does not wait for applause, real strength is quiet. Real kindness is not loud. As he walked away, something unexpected happened. The other animals, hidden among trees and shadows, had seen everything. The birds no longer whispered. The deer no longer smiled with disbelief. Even the old turtle lifted his head with respect. They finally understood. The monkey did not want to be big to scare others. He wanted to be big so that others could feel safe. The monkey returned to his favorite tree, tired and soaked but peaceful. He curled into a soft ball of fur, feeling the rain fade and the night soften. In his heart, the promise grew deeper, not because he wanted to be Godzilla anymore, but because he wanted to be himself. That night, as the stars slowly opened their eyes across the sky, the monkey closed his own and whispered gently, "I will always try to help, even when I am small, even when I am scared, because sometimes even a tiny heart can carry the strength of a giant." And with that quiet thought, the forest exhaled, the wind calmed, and everything felt safe again. Softly, gently, the night carried him to sleep when the forest learned to trust. The next morning, the sun rose gently over the forest like a warm hand placed on a tired shoulder. Thin beams of golden light slid through the leaves, and every branch looked freshly washed from the night rain. The monkey woke up slowly, stretching his little arms and blinking at the soft glow. He didn't think of himself as a hero. In his mind, he had simply done what felt right. But the forest remembered. Whispers moved from treetop to treetop, soft like wind. Stories traveled differently when spoken by leaves. As he climbed down to look for breakfast, he noticed something unusual. The birds did not fly away like they normally did when he approached. Instead, a bright blue bird hopped closer, tilting its head shyly as if trying to say, "Good morning." The deer lifted their faces calmly, not afraid, simply watching. Somewhere nearby, the old turtle muttered, like someone quietly admitting they had been wrong. The monkey didn't know what to do with all this quiet attention. He scratched his head, shrugged, and went on with his day. Later, he reached the edge of the forest, the same place where the boy and his parents had disappeared back into their village. For a moment, he wondered what their world was like. Loud, bright, always busy, did they ever hear the forest breathe? And then he saw something unexpected. At the edge of the trees, the boy waited. He had a little basket beside him filled with small fruits and clean water. When the monkey appeared, the boy smiled the way people smile when their heart is speaking louder than their mouth. He placed the basket on the ground and slowly backed away, showing respect instead of fear. The monkey walked closer carefully, sniffing the fruit, glancing up at the boy as if asking permission. The boy nodded softly. They didn't share words, but they shared meaning. For a while, they simply existed there in quiet. The boy sat cross-legged on the grass, and the monkey chewed slowly, thoughtfully. Sometimes the boy laughed gently at the way the monkey held the fruit with both hands. Sometimes the monkey watched the boy draw shapes in the dirt with a stick. Two worlds, sitting side by side, learning that they did not need to be the same to feel safe near each other. Then far away, thunder rolled. It wasn't loud yet, just a distant warning. The boy looked toward his village uneasy. The monkey felt the air change. The wind cooled. Birds shifted restlessly in the canopy above. Storms come fast when the sky forgets to be patient. Before long, heavy clouds swallowed the sun. Leaves began to tremble. Small drops became heavy drops. The boy grabbed his basket, ready to run home, but as he turned, he heard a strange sound, not thunder, not rain. Crying. Very faint, somewhere deeper inside the trees. The monkey heard it too. His ears twitched. His chest tightened with the same feeling as yesterday, that tug between fear and responsibility. He looked at the boy, then toward the sound, then back at the boy again, just like before. The boy swallowed nervously. He pointed to his chest, then pointed toward the village, showing he should go home. Then he pointed at the forest, gently pushing his hand forward like a blessing. It was as if he was saying, "Go help, I believe in you." Those were powerful words, even without sound. The monkey didn't roar. He simply nodded, turned around, and ran. The rain thickened quickly, drumming against branches, washing scent trails away. The crying came and went like a wave, sometimes strong, sometimes faint. The monkey climbed, leaped, swung, and crawled through wet bushes, guided only by instinct and heart. Finally, he saw it. A young fawn, barely older than a baby, stuck between fallen branches. Its tiny legs were tangled with vines, and with every attempt to escape, it only trapped itself more. Its eyes were wide with terror, reflecting the sky's flashing anger. The monkey moved slowly, hands open, heart steady. The fawn froze at first, shaking, unsure. But then something in the monkey's quiet presence felt familiar, like the safety of standing near an older tree that has survived many storms. The monkey gently pulled vines away, piece by piece, never rushing, never scaring the poor creature. Thunder exploded overhead. Lightning stitched the clouds together. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Finally, with one last careful tug, the fawn slipped free, stumbled, then stood. It stared at the monkey for a long second, as if memorizing his face, then ran toward the deeper safety of the trees. The monkey sighed with relief. But as he turned to leave, the wind changed again, sharper, colder. A fallen tree blocked the path he had used. Rainwater rushed downhill like a small river. The world felt heavier, louder. For the first time since yesterday, fear pressed hard on his chest. He thought, maybe I should have stayed in my tree. Then quietly, another thought answered. Number Godzilla stands in storms. He took a deep breath and began to climb the massive fallen trunk. It was slippery, and once he nearly slid off, catching himself at the last second. The rain stung his eyes. His heart pounded, but he climbed anyway. At the top, he paused and looked around. The forest didn't feel dangerous anymore. It felt alive, like it was cheering for him quietly. The wind softened. The rain slowed. The thunder rolled farther away. He made it down the other side and found a dry hollow beneath an old tree where he rested, shaking yet strangely calm. As the storm faded, something beautiful happened. Animals began to appear one by one, cautious but curious. The deer, the birds, even the fox who always kept his distance. They gathered not because the monkey was big or strong or loud, but because he had shown something rare. He had protected without asking for anything. The old turtle approached last, moving slowly through puddles. He looked at the monkey for a long, thoughtful moment, then said in his slow, wise way, "Small hearts can hold enormous courage. I was wrong about you." The monkey didn't know what the turtle said exactly, but he understood the feeling. That night, when the sky finally cleared, the boy returned quietly to the edge of the forest, worried about his tiny friend. When he saw the monkey appear, wet but safe, his relief felt as bright as the stars. He placed another piece of fruit down. The monkey sat with him again. No roaring, no performing. Just quiet friendship. And somewhere deep inside, the monkey realized something important. Maybe he didn't need to be Godzilla at all. Maybe, just maybe, it was enough to be a small creature with a giant promise. A promise to try, to care, to show up. To stand beside others when the world feels too big. As the evening cooled and night wrapped the world gently, the monkey closed his eyes, listening to the peaceful sound of the forest breathing again. Softly the day drifted away, and everything felt safe.